Yo, what's up, YouTube? Hey, it's your boy Chris. I'm back. It's been a crazy little bit of a season for us. We've been moving around the country and finally rested our heads. And as you can see, I'm in a completely different setup. So, yeah. But today, I got a short video for you. I got a short little quality time video for you, which is extremely important. All right. So, let's just jump right into it. Look, quality time. What is it, and how do you know that you're spending quality time with your wife? In general, quality time is going to be anything that you and your wife get value out of. Are there some tips for spending quality time? Absolutely. We're going to get into those right now. What are the benefits of quality time? Well, the first one is you're going to be able to be more intimate with your wife. This is extremely important. A lot of us, we want to be intimate with our wives, and we're like, I just don't know how, because we're not emotional people in the same concept that our wives are. So we say, okay, I don't know how to do it. Well, spending more time with your wife, and not just more sexual time. I'm not talking about just having sex. I'm saying you're sitting down, and we're going to get into some examples of what quality time looks like. But you're sitting down and you're really spending time with your wife, getting to know her, because the truth is we don't know everything about our spouse. We don't know everything about our wife, right? I'm constantly surprising my wife with things that I did growing up, things that I did just a few years ago while we're married, because we just, as much as I would love to say that I spend all this amazing quality time with my wife, the truth is I'm very intentional about it, but I haven't always been. So now she's learning more things about me that I didn't share before we started spending more intentional quality time. You gain respect for one another. And I'm not saying respect like I'm the boss, so you better respect what I say. What I'm saying is you gain a genuine appreciation of where your wife is coming from on certain situations, and she gains an appreciation on where you're coming from in certain situations. So when you run into these conflicts in your marriage, you'll be able to reflect on the fact that you guys spent that quality time, you worked on your communication, and now you're able to really dive deeper into those marital issues that you want to tackle, because you have a level of respect for one another where you're not at each other's throat and you don't see her as an enemy and she doesn't see you as an enemy. Extremely important that you spend quality time so you can gain that respect for one another in the relationship, so you can work on those conflict issues that are deeper rooted in your relationship. See, a lot of times we get married and then we say, all right, well, I'm just going to leave it alone. And you don't even put in the investment, which I talked about in a previous video. You don't invest in your wife. So then your relationship doesn't grow. And then that's when you're like, okay, well, I'm tired of this. The investment that we're talking about today is quality time. One of the last things you get from spending quality time is peace and joy. Now, I don't know about you, but those are two things that I really, really cherish and I would love to have an abundance of, especially when it comes to my relationship with my wife. I want to have peace and joy in our marriage. Now, the only way that I can get to that peace and joy in our marriage is if I'm spending the time with her and I'm building that relationship. It's probably a good time to say what quality time is not. Every relationship is going to be different when it comes to what quality time and what quality time isn't. But generally speaking, if it's the last resort or a result of a last minute action, it's probably not quality time, just because it's last minute. It wasn't planned. It wasn't methodical. It wasn't something that was intentional. It was just something that was accidental, or it was convenient at the moment. Now, that's not to say that opportunities don't present themselves where you can spend that quality time that wasn't intentionally planned and it doesn't get counted as quality time. But I'm talking about the, oh yeah, I got to spend time with you mentality. And if that's the way that you're feeling about it, I guarantee you it is not quality time. Okay? How do you know if you're spending quality time? Just ask your wife. All right. Ask your wife if you're spending quality time. I guarantee you she's going to say yes or no. And she's going to give you improvements, or she's just going to say, yeah, this is absolutely great. Let's keep doing it. And then you have to sustain that. Don't get defensive when she starts saying things like, no, I don't really feel like this is quality time. Listen to her in a very objective mindset, saying, okay, what is it that my wife is trying to convey to me? So that way I can improve because I really want to build this relationship. Now, there is a difference between a wife who's just being negative for the sake of being negative and a wife who's being loving and compassionate. Uh, when it comes to quality time and spending that, it has to be mutual grounds. All right. If your wife doesn't want to spend the quality time with you, then she's not going to resonate with it being quality time, regardless of if you're trying to force it on her as quality time. All right. That's serious. When should you spend quality time and how much of it should it be? I'm going to give you a rule of threes and take this for what it's worth. I think that it works out well in the relationship that I have with my wife. It may not work out in yours. So the first one is 30 minutes to an hour every single day. Now, I get it. We have different schedules, and some people, you work all the time and you just don't get that opportunity. Maybe you have to FaceTime to get that quality time in where you're just talking over the phone or something of that sort. I don't know. But set aside 30 minutes to an hour that your wife knows this is her time or your guys' time where you can just hang out and chill. All right. That's every single day, 30 minutes to an hour every single day. Then the next rule is once a week, choose a day, correspond or, sync this with your wife and say, okay, every day, or I'm sorry, once a week, I want to take you somewhere or I want to do something special for you. And that could be a foot rub, that could be a back massage, that could be cooking dinner, that could be, working out. It could be whatever you want it to be or whatever your relationship supports and what your wife identifies as love. Those are the things that you want to take into consideration when you do this. But yeah, absolutely. Do what you got to do. Okay. The last one is once a month, you want to go on an extravagant date. And when I say extravagant, I mean within the realm of your financial capability, but also within the realm of your relationship, like reality. Okay. If your wife doesn't like long walks on the beach and rose petals and candles, don't jump into all that. Okay. You want to make sure that the date is something that both of you resonate with and you can say, yeah, this was a great time. So maybe that once a month date is going to an amusement park, or maybe that once a month date is candlelit dinner underneath the moon. I don't know. Whatever that thing is for you and your wife, that is 100% something that you guys have to talk about. But once a month, plan something like that out. Okay. Drill for the week. First, you're going to open up your calendar. You're going to make sure that you block off intentional time for your wife. And this is going to be the opportunity for you and your wife to hang out, spend time, and really do this quality time drill. What you want to do is make sure you synchronize this with your wife because you don't want to just pop it up on her and she's not ready to receive you saying, I want to spend time. All right. So make sure that you match your calendar with your wife and block it off for 30 minutes to an hour. This does not have to be the same 30 minutes to an hour every single day. So if you set it up for 9 o'clock on Monday, but 12 o'clock on Tuesday is the best time, then go with 12 o'clock on Tuesday. And give your wife some options with this. Be flexible because the intent is to get her on board with wanting to spend more and more time with you, which I'm going to assume that your wife wants to spend time with you. She married you, right? Step number 2 to this. You have to plan what it is that you're going to do in this time. What I mean by that is don't just say, all right, you get 30 minutes, figure it out. What do you want to do? I guarantee you that's going to be the quickest way to an argument. So instead, you want to have some options available, right? You could say, hey, we're going to spend 30 minutes and just have a conversation, which women love to talk. My wife loves to talk. That's actually, she's told me on a number of occasions, that's her favorite thing that we get to do. So I say, all right, you know what? I'm going to run some coffee and I'm going to sit down. We'll have coffee and just have a 30-minute, 45-minute conversation and have some topics to discuss. I'm not saying have argument topics to discuss. Have some topics that are just light, fun, and you're having a conversation and let that conversation go wherever it naturally goes. All right. If it starts to go into the conflict realm, then just refer back to my conflict video and you'll know how to manage that. But try and keep it something light and easy. It could be a card game, which you can have a conversation while you play a card game. That could be Uno, it could be Phase 10. Those are just a few of the games that my wife and we play on occasion. All right, not sponsored, just some ideas. You could play a board game. I don't recommend Monopoly because that's a competitive game at nature. I don't know if there's much quality time invested in that, but you let me know in the comment section below. Nonetheless, make sure you have a plan for what you're going to do in this time. That's all that I'm really trying to get at. Step number 3, I want you to plan your weekly date night. This is important because you have to start prepping for it if you have to go get things or just to make sure that your wife knows this is not going to be the normal 30 minutes to an hour. This is going to be a few hours. I recommend that this be anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 hours, or it could be a late night date. And if you plan it out right, fellas, you could probably lead this right into the bedroom. I'm not telling you to plan this for the bedroom. I'm just saying you could lead it into the bedroom if you plan this out right after the kids go to sleep, things like that. Plan it out. Get a babysitter if you have to. That means you got to plan for a babysitter where it's like, all right, I got to call and get a babysitter. Whatever it is, do it. All right, get ready to go. And make sure that your wife knows, hey, this is the night that I'm going to take you out and we're going to go do something that is going to be fun. The last step for this week's drill, step number 4. I want you to start planning your monthly event. I know that we have some restrictions on where you can go and things that you can do. But again, it doesn't have to be out of the house. It could be in your backyard. It could be in your living room. It could be at a community area. You could go out wherever, whatever it is that you're going to do. And it doesn't have to be a nighttime date. Fellas, let me get you out of the mindset of all this romanticizing stuff that you see in the movies. It does not have to be a nighttime date. That is just a cultural restriction that we put ourselves into, and it's not the truth. I have taken my wife on many morning time dates, midday dates, or mid-afternoon dates, whatever. This is about getting out and doing something that you and your wife are going to enjoy, building your relationship so you guys can live a longer, more healthy and joyful marriage. All right. That's it. That's all you're really trying to accomplish with the quality time. And this is a very practical way of building your relationship with your wife. You just have to be present in the moment. Well, there you go, guys. Hopefully this gives you a good overview of what quality time looks like with your wife and how to spend it and things that you can do so you build your relationship. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and smash the like button. I need you to share it with a friend, someone that you know needs to spend quality time with their wife. And don't say it in a mean way. You know, this is all in love. We want to build up all of our men so we can lead our households and love our wives and ultimately build a stronger relationship and marriage. All right? Until next time, find a way to love your wife every single day. Peace.